In this video, I will show you how to evaluate the indicated trig function given the quadrant. So basically, when they say that tangent is between pi and 3 pi over 2, all right, that is a backwards way of giving you the quadrant, all right, because here's pi and here's 3 pi over 2. So between those, we are talking about quadrant 3. So keep that in mind. Now cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine function. So this really tells me that sine, come on, don't crash. This really tells me that sine theta is equal to negative 3 over 7. Okay, I just did the reciprocal of both sides. Now, we know that sine is, in terms of x, y, and r, sine is y over r. Okay, and I mean, the idea is this, which I'm sure we all know this by now, but just in case, if I had a circle, alright, so if I pick any point on the circle, I could make a radius, so that would be r. And now I could talk about this being angle theta, but if I made a triangle out of this part of the triangle would be the y value of this point, and this part of the triangle would be the x value of the point. So that's what I mean when I say x, y, and r. And it turns out that sine, maybe I should just write this down real quick. Sine is y over r. Cosine, all right, that would be, adjacent over hypotenuse. So that would be x over r. And tangent, which is opposite over adjacent, would be y over x. All right, but we don't need to draw this picture. We've memorized these facts. So anyway, sine is y over r. Now, the radius has to be positive. So this negative sign really is part of the y value. Okay, and as long as I was drawing the picture, silly me, I should have drawn the picture. I should have gone ahead and drawn the picture in the third quadrant. Anyway, I'm a silly goose. What are you going to do? No, seriously, what are you going to do? So here's the picture again. But this time I will draw it in the third quadrant. Alright, so there's my radius. And here's a triangle made out of it. And this is going to be my x and my y. So r is 7, so I can go ahead and put the 7 right there. Y is negative 3, so that's going to be negative 3. And if I'm going to find the tangent, I'm going to need to know the x value, which belongs right here. All right, this is going to be my x value. So that's why I'm about to do the Pythagorean Theorem right now, which says that x squared plus y squared is equal to 7 squared. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So x squared plus 9 is equal to 49. Subtracting 9 from both sides, x squared is equal to 40. So x is equal to, normally I would say plus or minus the square root of 40. But I know, because of the quadrant that it's in, x has to be negative. Okay, 40 is 4 times 11, right? So this is like, 4 times 10, sorry. So 40 is like having radical 4 times radical 10. So this would be negative 2 root 10. So that is my x value, is negative 2 root 10. So if I am supposed to find tangent theta, I can now do that. So tangent theta, tangent is y over x. And y is -3, and x is -2 radical 10. So tangent theta is going to be 3 over 2 root 10. Now, some teachers would want you to rationalize the denominator by multiplying by root 10 over root 10, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it like that. Alright, I think this is the last one. So, the quadrant, my friends. Let's figure out the quadrant that they're discussing. We're between 3 pi over 2 and 2 pi. So we are talking about quadrant 4. We know that cosine theta is equal to x over r. And suddenly we know that that is equal to 6 over 19. So that tells me that x is 6 and r is 19. So let's draw our picture into the fourth quadrant. Okay, so the radius is 19. The x value is 6. And now I need to find the y value. And to do that, I will once again do the Pythagorean Theorem. So I'm going to do y squared plus 6 squared is equal to 19 squared. So y squared plus 36 is equal to whatever that is. So that turned out to be 361. And then I'm going to subtract 36 from both sides. So that's going to be y squared is equal to 325. Then I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Okay, and that's going to turn out to be plus or minus 5 root 13. Okay, where'd I get 5 root 13 from? Well, look, I'm noticing the 25. So on my 4-function calculator, I'm dividing 325 by 25. So if I do 325 divided by 25, that's 13. So this is the same thing as root 25 times root 13. So that's where I'm getting the 5 root 13 from. Anyways, normally I would say plus or minus. But because of the quadrant, I know that this y value has to be negative. So I'm not going to say plus or minus. I'm going to say minus for sure. Okay, so the y value is negative 5 radical 13. So now they want me to find the sine of theta. So I'm ready to do that. So sine of theta is equal to y over r. So sine theta is going to be negative 5 root 13 over 19. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Go ahead and click here in the red apple to watch the next video. Click in the green apple to subscribe, or click the yellow apple for the full playlist.